Stories from Real Life is an independent podcast that is written and produced by Melvin E. Edwards. You can get details about each episode or contribute to the future success of this show by visiting the website at www.podcastreallife.com.
On today's edition of Stories from Real Life with Melvin E. Edwards, our guest today is Canadian Cathy Nesbitt. Cathy is a passionate health and wellness advocate and the innovative founder of Cathy's Crawley Composters, Cathy's Sprouters, and Cathy's Laughter Club. She's a two-time TEDx speaker and a multi-award-winning visionary. In addition, Cathy is a certified laughter yoga teacher and was honored as a laughter ambassador in 2017 by the pioneer of laughter yoga. Cathy's journey with laughter yoga began when she personally experienced its profound impact. She chose this unique, enjoyable, and accessible exercise modality for its ability to enhance well-being and reduce stress. Cathy's laughter yoga sessions provide a simple yet powerful exercise system that anyone can participate in, fostering a sense of joy and tranquility in everyday life. Let's join today's guest, Cathy Nesbitt, and your host, Melvin E. Edwards.
You are listening to Stories from Real Life, a podcast by engaging storytellers for engaged story listeners. Here's your host, author and journalist, Melvin E. Edwards.
Hello again, and welcome to this week's episode of Stories from Real Life. I'm your host, Melvin E. Edwards. Thanks for joining me on this week's learning adventure. As you heard in the intro, our guest this week is Worm Wrangler and Laugh Leader, Cathy Nesbitt. Cathy joins us today from Ontario, Canada. And thanks for being here today, Cathy.
I'm excited. Thank you so much for inviting me.
My first Canadian guest, so I'm excited.
Hey?
It's already funny. Okay, so I'm curious, what is the mood of Canadians now that Justin Trudeau has resigned?
Ooh, depends who you ask. Politics is a prickly game, isn't it? To be honest, I think he was doing a fine job. There was a lot of factors to cope with since 2020. A lot of people are glad that he's gone. They look at, depending if you're liberal or conservative, where you stand on the political spectrum. People think that he spent too much money, and he had this image of being just this handsome man that on the world stage. But I think I liked him, to be honest. Yeah.
Okay. So now that he has extra free time, have you thought about getting him to become your spokesman for your worm business?
Funnily enough, back in 2008, before he was prime minister, we spoke on the same stage. And it was at an environmental festival at a high school, and so he was the keynote, obviously, and I was just one of the breakout workshops. But I was like, wow! And in the local paper, it had his fee of $8,000. You can't find that article anywhere now; it's been scrubbed from the internet. Because I was like, oh, and I actually had the link to it, and I wish I had printed it out because I was like, wow, look at people were so up in arms that he got paid to go and speak at a high school. They're like, what? Like, anyway. So I kind of know him. I did meet him. I got a photo up with him.
So do you think he'd make a good spokesman for your worms?
I absolutely do. Yeah, I think he would make an awesome ambassador.
I think we should reach out to him.
Let's do it. Yeah, he's got free time, as you said.
All right, so the name Cathy's Crawley Composters is creative and catchy. But I think you apparently didn't watch any 1970s disaster movies. Won't having worms in your home expose you to being invaded and eventually eaten when they turn into giant mutants?
You know, the worms have been, the worms have been around for millions of years, and they haven't taken over yet. They're here to help us. The stuff that the worms do, it's really amazing. And this is a really a divinely guided mission. It really is. Because I don't have repeat customers. If you're in business, the 20-80 rule doesn't apply with worms because they breed more than rabbits. But they are super cute, and they have a big mission, which is they're the original alchemists. They turn our garbage into black gold so we can grow more nutrient-rich food, and it's a beautiful thing. And they have 5 hearts each.
Unlike some people who don't seem to have any.
Right, they have extra.
So how did you decide to begin your worm business?
Oh, it chose me. I didn't decide it. It was decided for me. Like just kind of going back, I'm from Toronto, largest city in Canada. I bought a house. Of course, you can't buy a house in the big city. You got to move out of the city to afford, even in 93. So I bought a house, and I couldn't wait to start gardening and composting. And a teacher friend in 93 asked me to look after her worm bin. As an avid gardener and composter, I knew the value of the compost, but I didn't want worms in my house. Come on, that's ridiculous. But I took on the challenge. I think we should try things. You know, people are like, oh, you won't like that. Oh, good. Give me a list. I'll save lots of time. So I took on the challenge. It was horrible. I was a fruit fly farmer because I didn't manage the bin like some management is required. And don't be a fruit fly farmer if you're going to take on worm composting, right? There's no market. Nobody's buying them. They die in a day or two. And they're hard to catch. So at the end of that summer, I did keep the worms alive for my teacher friend. I wanted the black gold for my own garden. I put on big gloves, harvested the worms, and then I said, I'm never doing this again. Haha, never say never. And then I was getting my psych degree all the while. In 2000, I graduated, and I sound much younger. It took me 15 years to get my degree. How fun. Yeah, and what happened? Oh, and then I got a job at a group home. They had 10 homes and a farm, and they didn't compost. And I was like, gosh, these people don't compost because, like, why don't they? I didn't understand why you wouldn't. It's nature's way to manage your food scraps. They had a farm. Anyway, when I broached when I talked to management about it, they
My favorite Canadian word.
They said we don't need the fertilizer because we have cows. So they had the manure for the farm, for the fields, and I was like, "Gosh, they don't connect. They're creating all this food waste." Anyway, so I said, "What about creating a composting project?" And the greenhouse manager said, "What about vermicomposting?" Oh, there it is again. And I was like, oh, no, not the worms again. Gross. But then I came home from work and I was like, it's an institution. They're not going to get worms anytime soon. So I did some research and discovered the magic. Again, I was introduced 7 years earlier, so I already had an experience. So it wasn't brand new. And then I learned that the red wiggler worms eat half their weight per day in food scraps. They turn garbage into gold. They have 5 hearts each. They live up to 10 years. And that the average family produces a ton of organic waste in a year, and a pound of worms and their descendants will transform a ton of organic waste in a year. So I was like, wow, everybody needs a pound of worms. So that's kind of how that came back again. And then I got injured at work. And I came home so I was stressed. I was like, oh, I'm stressed now. I'm injured. Boo me. I came home and there was an ad in the paper and it said, do you have a business idea? Are you a woman? It was a business course at a women's center to write a business plan. So I turned to my husband. I said, I'm quitting my job. I'm taking this course. I'm starting a worm business. Who knows why things happen?
That's interesting.
It's big.
All right, so your time at Boulevard Watches way back when, How did that help you develop your business model?
Oh, so great. I grew up in the 60s when, I don't know, this was the message that I heard, that women could do 5 jobs. We could be secretary, nurse, waitress, stewardess, or secretary does. Anyway, there's 5. So I was like, oh, kind of a limited list. I'll be a secretary. So I took all of those courses. Shorthand, typing, really great skills for, well, shorthand maybe not, but lots of skills that you need in business. It was setting me up. I mean, my only regret is that I stayed in secretarial for 20 years. But at Boulevard Watch, it was so beautiful. I was the gatekeeper. Are you kidding? I was in charge. I ran the company. Nobody got to the president unless I let them. So I learned a lot, and I actually, I'm a big connector. So I connected. It was a unionized plant, and so it was kind of us and them, the management and the union, and I connected everybody. I was like, no, like what? No, we all work for the same company. We're kind of all one, and it was just It gave me so many skills.
Wow. So, since starting your worm business, how many worms do you think you've been in contact with over the last 23 years?
Millions and millions of worms. Because, I sell them by the pound because there's 800 to 1,000 worms in a pound.
Wow.
Wow.
800 to 1,000?
Yeah, they're small. They're cute little red wigglers. And so they're not like the big honkin', bait worm, the dew worm. Yeah, so millions of worms over the years.
So my only experience with worms is for fishing, as fishing bait. So I don't know what kind of worms those are.
Yeah, they're usually often they're Canadian night crawlers or Alabama jumpers. Like they're the bigger worms.
So do those Canadian night crawlers say a boat? Okay, I'll let that go now.
For now.
For now, yeah. Okay, so what's the best part about indoor composting?
So many things. You're in Texas. I'm in Canada. So, well, those aren't the same things. I'm in Ontario. You're in Texas. So it's hot where you are. Or it's not now, but it's often really hot. So people stay inside. In Canada, sometimes it's really cold. So we stay inside. Those are the things. The worms are temperature sensitive. So composting indoors allows us the opportunity to compost year-round and manage our food scraps. And managing our food scraps is really big because we all eat. Trucking around food scraps doesn't even make sense because it's not waiting to get to the plant to start composting or whatever. It's rotting en route, so off-gassing methane all the while. And then all the fossil fuels that it takes to truck all that stuff around. And then when we're making our own compost, then we're likely to have a garden or some house plants. So instead of using fertilizer that we have to purchase, we can save money and make it with our own scraps. And then we know what's in it.
Wow. Okay. So I know that the reception to your ecologically friendly idea wasn't initially favorable for you, and it indirectly caused you to turn to laughter yoga. So what is the connection between worms, sprouts, and laughter?
Ooh, that's a great question. I didn't know until 2020, to be honest. There I was 20 years doing all these things, well, except the laughter. So the laughter came about. Every time I see a boat, I'm going to think about
That's my own way of interjecting laughter into the conversation.
2012, 10 years into my very important mission, one more person said, ew, worms in the house. And I'd heard it hundreds of times in the previous 10 years. I wasn't paying attention. Again, as an entrepreneur, they say, pay attention. Like, what do your clients want? They didn't want what I had. And people don't buy what they need. They buy what they want. Right? They needed what I had, but they didn't want it. Or not both. Like maybe if there's a couple, one might be an avid gardener and know all about the worms and yes, they're in. And the other one's like, there's no way. And there's no way. And it's deep. Like I have a psych degree. So it really goes back to childhood, if people were traumatized after a rainy day or a fishing incident, the green goo, they might have been like, oh my gosh, this is, I don't know, somehow traumatized. If you were traumatized as a child, you're not looking to that as an adult as a solution. So, I wasn't paying. I was like, la, la, la for 10 years going, no, you need this. And luckily I have all this energy and, and I know it's really important. So I just kept going. I was like, no, and then 2012, one more, and I heard it. I was like, oh my gosh, people don't want what I have. I didn't know. Right? I think sometimes we get so wrapped up in what we have, we don't know that people don't want what we have. That's what happened to me. I thought it was so important. And it is, but if you're going blah all over people, you scare them away. And that's what I was doing. Like, I'm fun to watch. I'm sure I'm high energy. I dance around. And then they're like, no, still no worms. There's a line. I'm not crossing that line. So laughter yoga. Yeah. So I operate fast. When I get an idea, I'm like, I want it to come to birth right away. I'm like, okay, let's go. And I thought, how am I going to put worms in every space if people still don't know about it? They're still saying, ooh. They don't know. And I said, maybe I should get a job. Oh, no, this has to work. Who would have me? Like, don't tell me what to do. And the very next day I was introduced to laughter yoga at the very place that I wrote my business plan. You can't make this stuff up. So they had a speaker, and she was a laughter yoga teacher, and she did a 5-minute demo into laughter yoga. And it's not doing yoga and laughing. It's laughing as a cardiovascular workout.
Wow. Hard to follow that up. Okay, so you just explained what laughter yoga is. So give me an idea of what a class would look like and sound like.
Yes, thank you. Oh, it's so much fun. And, now we're doing it online where you have the gallery view so we can see everybody. It's making eye contact, doing little games, and deep diaphragmatic breathing. So the yoga part is the deep breath and the practice of the laughter. As the laughter leader, so the body doesn't know the difference between real and imagined laughter. The mind does. Right? The ego's like, what are you doing? There's no joke. What are you laughing at? Stop it. You look ridiculous. Thank you very much. Quiet for now. And you get into your body. And then the body's like, wow, secreting all the love drugs, dopamine, oxytocin, serotonin, and endorphins. We're oxygenating our beautiful vessel. Like, you can't just ha, ha, ha. You have to, so you can continue, because you're exhaling. So as a laughter leader, you invite people, especially their first time, to allow themselves permission. Don't get in your head. Don't question why you're doing this. Just play along. So Simon Says kind of thing. There's clapping, and we're clapping palm to palm, which activates meridians in our body. So already just clapping palm to palm, we get energy. And the rhythm is 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. The words are ho, ho, ha, ha, ha. And that primes our brain. Like, have you heard of Pavlov and the experiment? Right. So not that we're dogs, but we kind of are. We're trainable, teachable. So as soon as we go to a laughter club and we're going ho, ho, ha, 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 our brain's like, oh, it's happy time. And we start secreting those chemicals already. It's a practice. So our body gets used to doing it. If somebody hasn't tried laughter yoga and they're like, oh, I'm curious, plan to attend twice. Because the first time may be odd because it's new. Like when you start a new job or you're taking a new course, it's new. So you're like, I don't know if I can do this. And then you do. Same with laughter. It might be odd, but the experience is so magic. We feel so good because we're working our whole body. We're connecting. So it's social, and it's the whole package.
So it's been said that laughter is the best medicine. And then you have an acronym for DOSE, like taking a dose of medicine. What does that acronym stand for?
Yes, it's the love drugs, the happy chemicals, dopamine, oxytocin, serotonin, and endorphins. Yes, laughter is the best medicine. It's actually scientifically proven. There's about 50 years of research showing that laughter is beneficial for our health. So I'll ask the question, if that's true, and it is, why is it so challenging for us to achieve abundant, reliable, sustainable laughter? The frontal lobe. We're so smart. We think our way out of things. So we hear a joke as adults, and it goes through all these filters. Is this funny? Can I laugh with the people that I'm with? Is it safe? What will happen? So all these filters, and then when we decide that it is funny, it's conditional. Where laughter yoga bypasses that. It's not about jokes or comedy. It's laughing for the fun. Like, have you ever laughed so hard that your stomach was hurting and your cheeks were hurting?
Excuse me.
Those are the laughter muscles.
Yes, it's been a while, but I've laughed hard enough that my stomach was cramping and I couldn't breathe. And yes.
Right. It's a practice.
Is that a normal occurrence at laughter yoga?
It can be, absolutely. If people play full on. I have rock hard abs from laughing.
Wow.
And when I talk at groups, they're like, you should have led with that.
Exactly. You start with that, then you get people's attention.
Right, because you think about it, our diaphragm is attached to all of our organs. So when we're laughing full on, ho, 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 ha, 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 even making those sounds, if you put your hands on your belly and go ho, 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 and ha, 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 you're moving your diaphragm already. So it's like internal jogging. Wow.
Without getting all sweaty outside and dealing with the 100-degree heat and mosquitoes.
That's it. And you don't have to go to the gym. It's accessible, waiting in all of us. It's fascinating. I love that you said that. I actually am doing work with folks with Down syndrome. And what I've learned is that folks with Down syndrome, they don't sweat like the regular population. Because of their body, their genetic makeup, they just don't sweat the same. So they do get overheated. They do get overexerted, if that's a word, when they do physical activity. So if you're familiar with with folks with Down syndrome, they often are like, oh, I'm so tired, and until a good song comes on or something they want to do, then they're happy. Like, they are very happy, but they come across as maybe lethargic or like slow moving. It's because of their body makeup. So laughter is a beautiful thing because you're not sweating.
That's really interesting. So are corporations now using laughter yoga as part of team building?
They absolutely are. Yes. Imagine we could not just, but it feels like just came off the lockdown. Everyone working from home and locked in our homes. People forgot how to have conversations, how to make eye contact. So going back into the office, now it's awkward again. So when we're laughing as a group, it breaks down barriers. There's no president and no titles. Everybody laughing together. Some have funny laughs, some laugh under their breath, some snort, some, wheeze. There's all kinds of things which triggers other people to laugh because it is contagious. So it's beautiful for team building. And what happens when we're laughing? Well, I'll talk about stress. We're living in this really stress-filled time. We're walking around in a perpetual state of stress. So when we're stressed, we're not breathing properly. Blood, lymph, oxygen leaves our brain so it can go into our muscles so we can escape whatever that stressful situation is, even though we're not really escaping. Not funny. So creativity is blocked. Like, have ever lost your phone, keys, glasses, and you're flapping around, I gotta go. And the longer you flap around, the more stressed you get. Because you're not breathing, you're secreting all the stress hormones, so you literally are getting more stressed by the second. So when that happens, I can't prevent you from losing something, sorry. How Canadian. I can give you a tip next time you're flapping around, as long as my voice squeaks in there. Because your brain knows where your keys, phone, glasses are. You just need to stop and, hey, where are they? And you may get an image or a word or something will come to you like, oh yeah, I remember leaving them on the counter. You didn't put them in their usual spot. So you can take a deep breath in, laugh it off, ha, 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 ha. Apologize to all the people you just yelled at for taking your keys or your phone, whatever, and then you'll find them. Because your brain can't help you when it's in that state. So back to corporations, when everybody's laughing together, it really does boost creativity. Nobody wants to miss Laughter Day. It's so much fun. You're connecting with your coworkers, and there's some magic level. Like there's a thing called mirror neurons, where if you smile at somebody, they're likely to smile back. Or you see somebody that's sad, you maybe feel sad as well. Those are the mirror neurons.
Okay. So while you were giving your TEDx talks, did people laugh during your talks?
They did. They did, and they weren't about laughter. They were both before laughter yoga, and that's funny that you ask about my TEDx talk, because I just watched it the other day because I was doing a worm talk and it had been a little while. So I was like, and they have had worm workshops in the past, so I didn't want to say the same things. I wanted to boost my knowledge. So I was like, oh wow, I was funny even back then.
So tell me all about that experience of giving a TEDx talk.
You know, that it really is who you know. It really is who you know in this world. It's not what you know. You need to know stuff, but it's people getting connections to you. That's how how both opportunities came about, was from people connecting me, like, oh, there's this and they're looking for speakers and you would be great. So it really is important to be connected. And the experience is so wonderful because they want it to be a great experience for the audience, and they want you to have a great experience. So they work with you to help craft, like you come with your speech, or you're prepared and you practice, which is not my way. That was out of my comfort zone because I really like being off the cuff. I like being divinely guided on what I'm going to say, but when you have a certain window of time, it's important to be on the mark. And so they really worked with me. Oh, it was a wonderful experience. And then with the other folks, the other speakers at the TEDx event, and their audience, because they are usually, at least the ones that I was at, were very small audience. So it's intimate group, probably the family and friends of the other speakers. I had, everybody can invite 2 or 3 people. And it was magical. And now I have that. It really gives you street cred, having done a TEDx talk. I had no idea. It wasn't for that.
Street cred in Canada is getting up on stage. It's not being in a gang. It's not all that kind of stuff. It's on being on stage giving a TEDx talk. Those must be some clean streets in Ontario. So why do we need a laughter club? I know you've got a laughter club. Why does the world need a laughter club?
Oh, back to 2020. We have a global mental health tsunami. It's like it was here before 2020. It's just bigger now. There's more people affected. And I recently heard that isolation is more damaging to our health than alcohol, smoking, and obesity combined.
Wow.
And, how do you torture people? By keeping them on their own, by isolating them. Like even in prison, people don't want to be on their own, in solitary, so I think there's a lot of work to be done. And because it's not jokes or comedy, we just come, we laugh. And even if you're in the darkest place, you can still, if you're able, tune into a laughter club. You don't have to leave your house. And I did have a kind of an unwritten rule that I wanted people to have their cameras on. And I still have that. Like it's obviously better because we can't see you if you don't have your camera on. And one day when I first started my club, a person came, they were just a phone number. They didn't have their camera on. And at the end I said, I would ask, I don't now because my club is too big. Yay. I don't ask now at the end, how did you like it? Because it's too big. But at the beginning, there was a few people, and I asked, hey, does anyone want to share how it was? And this woman didn't turn on her camera, but she turned the mic on and said, I haven't laughed for 4 years. Wow. And so from that moment, I was like, oh gosh, I have no idea. Like somebody that's really struggling, somebody that's in a really deep depression or anxiety or any number of things that they're experiencing. yes, they're welcome to come to my club. Camera off, no questions asked, just come. Because even being in the energy, right, it's just a vibration. Laughter is simply an energy. So when we're laughing, we're not in that doldrum, at least for that moment. We're totally present right here, right now.
All right, so speaking of that, you've got your Laughter Club meetings on Tuesdays on Zoom. So if somebody wants to join that, what do they need to do to be a participant?
Yeah, it's free. They just go to cathysclub.com, my website, Cathy with a C. It's right at the top to sign up for the free online Laughter Club. It's 30 minutes of super fun self-care, 9:30 a.m. Eastern. And I started June 2020, so it's 4.5 years since I've had my beautiful Laughter Club. I get regularly 25 Zoom squares, and 4 or 5 of those are groups, special needs, long-term care, because special needs and seniors are my favorite folks to laugh with.
So is it the first session free, or are they all free?
They're all free. When you get trained, so laughter yoga started in India by a medical doctor, Dr. Madan Kataria, and his goal is world peace. World peace. Wow. And it seems like, oh, that's not possible. It is. I really believe that it is possible, and it's in our power. But we all have to be peaceful. And I believe that it started in 95, so we could be ready for 2020 and we could all jump online. I missed your question.
Oh, it was about the Zoom club, or the Laughter Club.
Oh, yeah. So there's an unwritten rule when you get trained as a laughter leader that you'll have a free club, right? If we're going to get world peace, we need to have lots of laughter clubs all over. That's fine in India, where you could have, the same beautiful climate year round, and there's lots of people. In Canada, in January or February, who wants to be outside laughing? So we need to rent space, right? It's not really practical to expect people to run a free club and lose money unless they're independently wealthy or retired or whatever, and they want to do that. That's fine. So I said to the universe when I got trained in 2016 as a teacher, I was like, universe, I don't want to have a free laughter club. I do enough for free. And I kept getting paid gigs. And then 2020, and I got shut down, and I was like, oh, now what am I going to do? Stuck in my house, roaming around room to room. It's like, I need something. I needed people. So I started my laughter. I was like, oh, time for my free laughter club now. And I love it. I'm so grateful that I have the opportunity to bring this, to help people. And I'm an avid learner. I'm a lifelong learner. I love taking courses and just learning what more can I do? How more can I serve? What else can I bring? And my gift, I think, is taking those courses and then being able to provide it in a way that people can understand it in a simple way. Laughter goes with everything, so I incorporate tapping, brain gym, and other healing modalities.
Okay. So I just have a couple more questions here to wind down this conversation. So with this Laughter Club or laughing yoga, does a person have to be able to laugh on cue to be a part of it?
Not at all. It's certainly helpful if they come with a willing opportunity. Like if they're like, oh, I can't laugh without stimulus. Okay, come anyway, and we'll make you, like, bring your willing body is what we say as laughter professionals. Bring your willing body and we'll make you laugh. And it sounds aggressive, but it isn't. You will laugh because you start, and it's simulated, like you're just like going, ha, ha, ha. But as soon as you smile, you start secreting the love drugs. So add a little giggle, ha, ha, ha. Pew, 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 more are secreted. I keep wondering if I'm going to wear out my dispenser. So I think coming to it, and then what happens is you feel so good after the laughter club because you've just laughed, you've secreted your whole beautiful, or oxygenated your beautiful body, right? Our body cancer cannot survive in an oxygen-rich body. That's big.
Wow. All right, so final question I've got for you today. All right, if you're able to laugh while you're eating sprouts and growing worms, are you winning at life?
Yes. Before 2020, I thought I was a juggler. What do you need? I got it. Want worms? You want sprouts? You want laughter? I got it. And then all that thinking time, 2020. Time to think. Oh, more time to think. Oh my gosh, I don't need any more thinking time. And I realized all of my offerings for a business or not for a business, like just if people had worms to manage their food scraps, to make a little bit of wonderful soil so they could grow some nutrient-rich food, growing sprouts year-round. I mean, in Canada, we can't really garden too much outside. So we get nutrient-dense food and the laughter for our overall health and wellness. All three are beautiful ways for a wonderful, simple life.
And that's a great way to wind up this episode. So our guest today has been Cathy Nesbitt. Cathy, thank you so much for joining me today and sharing your knowledge with my audience. I've really enjoyed this.
Thank you. It was my pleasure. Thank you.
So if you don't already follow me on Spotify or some other podcast platform, please go and do that now. Subscribe and follow the episodes. And please share this episode with a friend who will be able to benefit from laughter and worms or anything else. So I will post the links in the show notes so that you can contact Cathy and be a part of what she's doing up there in north of our border on the northern side. Well, again, thank you, Cathy.
Thank you.
That's it for today's episode of Stories from Real Life. Join us again next time for another chance to learn from each other's stories and journeys. Until then, don't forget to shine your light wherever you go.
That was Stories from Real Life. Join us again next week for another great storytelling journey. See you next time.